Hey, it's me, Mario!
Hello there and welcome to the channel. My name's Rob. We're going to do a UJ today. I get a few of these to do. It's of a Tractor PTO. This is, I would say, average size one. Some's bigger, some's smaller. But people do have a bit of a difficult time with them, and that's hence why I tend to get to do them. But there's a couple of pitfalls. See if I can just lower the camera a little bit. There's a couple of pitfalls you really want to know about. So I'll run you through them. We're just going to emery in this joint in here, just tidy up a little bit, you know, don't go mad on it, but as long as it's sort of tidy and it doesn't stick, because what happens is round the outside where the circlips go, in that little bit there, you can just see it's shiny where the cup's been, the bearing cup, but where it hasn't been, then it's a little bit rusty, and we're going to want to slide past that to put them in. So we're just going to emery them up a little bit. I'm sure I've got a machine to do this, or a tool. It doesn't need much, and I'm going to show you how to measure them, because a lot of people don't know. If you're going to order one off the internet, then you're going to need one to know what size. Yeah, any burrs or anything like that on the inside, they just need to come off. And there's a little tip, just when your emery gets jiggered on the end, just keep tearing it off and getting a new bit. I mean, some emery is better quality than others. You can get some really good quality emery. It seems to last and last. Some of it is just absolute utter rubbish. It's like anything else, I suppose. Buy cheap, buy twice. This tube, by the way, is called lemon tube because it's shaped like a lemon, and the other one goes inside it. Years ago, everything used to be square. And it was really heavy. It was a solid piece of square iron or steel or whatever it was. In fact, I have some, I'll show you. That's one I cut up years ago. It's weird stuff because sometimes it'll machine really well, and other times it depends on where the carbon and things are inside it. I think it's just a bad mix of metal, but it's as hard as Eldor knockers. But that's what the old PTO shafts used to look like, and then it was a square box that it went into. What it was normally was a round collar with a length of square boxing on the end of about 2 or 3 inches, and it used to slide in and it could drive. So that would be, that yoke would be on the end of there like that. But it's heavy, really, really heavy. Where this lemon tube, it's light as a feather. And it started to rain. My son will not be very happy. He's trying to get some seed drilled. And he's been at it all weekend, so if it rains like this, then that will stop him. But that's farming, I'm afraid. This one here has got a burr on it. I'll show it in a minute. And it's not good to get the casing past. So do give them a good inspection, you know, and have a look. I'm just going to run a round file over it. But when you're trying to push a case past that, you know, it's going to make it more difficult. If I can show this little burr in here, we've got to point at it. If you can see that, there's a little tiny burr just there, which you're trying to push a bearing case over that. Just makes it, it'll push over it without a doubt once you get it in a vise, but it's best if it's not there. We'll just get a small round file. There you go. It's gone now. I'll just make that inner edge a little bit more. Just do it at a taper like that. Just helps them slide in. You'll not hurt anything. I'm just going to blow it out with the compressor in a minute. I probably already said that, but just one or two little burrs on that. Just takes any rough. There shouldn't really be any rough edges on it, to be fair, because it's not doing anything. Right, I'm just going to give it a blow with the compressor. Back in a sec. Just noticed on one of the grooves where the circlips drop in on one of them, it's that one. It's quite rusty and quite full of dirt. This is a chainsaw file. Don't know what size it is. It will say on it, but it's quite small, as you can see, 3/16 or something. But on the end of it's got a nice little square end. That's quite full in there. Right, blow it out again. Right, we're almost ready to rock and roll. I'll just get the verniers and I'll show you how to measure one. Right, the way we know what size it is, this is the old one, and do take care when you take it apart, you know, if you're going to go get another one, make sure you do take at least 2 of these cups with you, because if you just take the star in the centre, then they're not going to be very happy with you, to be fair. So what you do is you measure across here, so with the cups, with the cups on, you measure the width of it there, and that's 70. So that's 70 millimetre, yeah. So you need that measurement, and also you need a diameter of the cups. So we measure the cups as well, and that's 27. You might get the oddment, look, you know, don't worry about that. That's 27. So that UJ is 70 by 27. I'm hoping you can see that. 70 by 27. So when you're ordering it, look for that measurement and away you go. And if you get, like I got this from EQUIP Market Rasen, if you go to places like that, they'll do the measuring for you, if you know, it's fine. They'll have a book that transfers it to a part number. You know, on the internet usually they're just advertised at the size and that's it. That would say 70 by 27 and that would be it. But if you go to a parts company, usually what they'll have is a big book and they'll convert the numbers to a part number. I don't know what that's 5001 that's on there, and it's a VTE 5001, and I'm presuming that part number there's theirs. Okay, I think they're made in Italy. Why can't we make these? Right. You can put either end in you like first. I prefer to stick this end in first because it's bigger, and the smaller end second because it's easier for me to work. So you can do either, it doesn't matter. What you will need is a socket, and the socket must fit in there. I used to have proper pieces of round steel. In fact, that's one for a bigger one, I think. I've got an end in it. What pushes them in. I made a Fuma at a time, but they've got use for other things, so I can't find them now. Now I like to put a little bit of copper grease in these. In fact, I like to put copper grease on everything. You don't have to go mad. Don't know why I'm rushing really, I've got all day to do this. Well, I haven't, I've got an injection pump to do. So I like to put a bit of copper grease on them. And your new one will come like that in a little bag. And in here should be a grease nipple and your circlips. Okay, I'll just put them over there a moment. Right, inside these is needle bearings, and you don't want to be losing them. And I don't normally add any more grease than what's already in there because usually it's enough to hold them in. Okay, so you know, put these, when you take them apart like this, inside those needle bearings, look, that's blue thing's a seal. We don't want grit and crap on these. So, but I find there's just enough grease in there to hold them in without you putting any more in. Okay, so we'll take them off, put them somewhere clean, because we only want one at the minute. Remember, there's a grease nipple in it. That's one pitfall, is make sure you put the grease nipple the easiest way for you to grease it, okay? But we'll come to that in a minute. Right, so what we're going to do first is just push one of these in. Just gently. Like so, just so it's fast in there. Then we're going to go in from this side like that, into there, and push that into there. Now we need to make sure that now does never come out of there while we're pushing it in, because what we don't want to do is one of the little needles to drop in the bottom, and that's a pitfall most people have. So what we're going to do, we're going to push that in so it's level, and then we're going to put the other one in from the outside, but I'll show you a little trick how to do that. So that one's in now, so we want that one to stay in there all the time, okay? But we've put it in far enough. We can put it in a little bit more with a socket. We don't really want to go past the circlip. This vise is just on its extremities. We're not quite there, that'll do. So we've just pushed it in. It's just not quite enough in to fit the circlip, but it's good enough. Okay, at this point, doesn't matter where the grease nipple is at this point, because we can turn it, remember. Okay, now what we do now is we get the next cup, which is all the needle bearings around the outside, lot none dropped in the bottom. And we put it in, just hold it in, don't drop it whatever you do, and then transfer this into that one, yeah? Now that's in far enough to hold those bearings in, so that'll never come out. And now that's got those bearings. So both lots of bearings, sorry, needle bearings, are covered, so they can't drop out. Because what happens at this point is one drops and goes into the back of the cup, and then you've got it all to take apart again, or you do a lot of damage. So then we push this one in. I really should have cleaned this vise a bit, but okay, that's that one in. So now we've got this movement here, yeah, but the needle bearings can't come out, and we can get it, if I can show you, that's going all the way back. So there, ooh, there's the shoulder on the start, and it goes up to that collar. That one's already up to it, so if we push that one that way, we can see that goes up to it as well, so we know we haven't dropped a needle in the bottom. So if you do it like that, you should never drop a needle. You should always be able to put them in. Just push the other one in. Right, just put the circlips in. Really try and use good circuit pliers. I've got a couple of brand new sets. I don't know why I keep using these, I really don't. Let's have a go. Right, on these circlips, these haven't got it. On some of these circlips have got a round edge on one side, they're rounded. And you always want to make sure that round is against the cup. So the square tight edge is on the outside looking towards you. But these look, you know, they're just same both sides, so it won't matter with these. Oh. So I like to put copper grease on everything, as you can tell. That's gone in. Yep. Spin it over. Check everyone, make sure everyone's is the same. You know, don't take anything for granted. It's got a square edge and a square edge. So I like copper grease and everything. This PTO shaft, at some point I would say it's been stuck together. So if you look on the top of here, it's flat. It looks like it's been whacked. So they've been trying to bash it in and bash it out, trying to separate it. Got my glove. Yeah, that's right. That's that one in. So they're the pitfalls. Make sure, and that as you can see now is nice and tight. Right, where do you want the grease nipple? It wants to be so you can grease it. You know, when it's in there, it's no point in facing the wrong direction, because if it does, you just can't get the grease gun at it. Now I'm going to put this one forward into the other yoke, like that. Or am I? Yeah, I think I am, because when the guard's on this, if it's facing back, like that, when the guard's on it, there is an hole in the guard, but as you can see, the angle you're trying to get the grease gun onto it is difficult. So you have to take the PTO off and, you know, bring this end down to get it to grease. So if I face it forward like so, with a guard on it. When it's on the tractor, I can always come at it from this side here and just give it a couple of squirts of grease. So I'm going to face it forward. It's up to you where you do it wherever's easiest, or where the other one was, okay? Right, now for the next bit. We want to make sure it's clean. We don't want any crap on it or anything like that. You know, I think if you look on eBay, I think this size is anywhere from £18, I think I saw some, up to 27, I think. Whether that's quality or just people want to make more money, I've no idea. I say these are made in Italy, and as you can see, I'll show you. You can see on there, it says made in Italy. Italian stuff's usually pretty good stuff, but wherever you get them, I got this from, say, EQUIP Market Rasen in Lincolnshire, local, like agricultural, they sell everything from dog food to this. PTO, shop, you name it, they sell it. Fantastic company, great blokes there, and they can nearly always get anything you want. And the good thing about using local people is they'll always be there if you use them. If you don't use them and you're carrying using the internet, they won't be there. And 7 mile down the road, 7 mile back, I was going to Lincoln anyway to pick some other stuff up, some more parts, so I was passing Market Rasen. And it's nice to have a chat with the lads, and they're a really good company. That's EQUIP at Market Rasen. I don't know how much it was because I have an account with them and it'll be on my account, and I picked some other stuff up as well. So it might be 30 quid, it might be 35 quid, it might be 25 quid. I don't know. It's going to be more than the internet, I would have thought, you know, bet your life. But you're keeping local businesses going. Because say, when you want parts that day, there and then, them local guys are worth the weight in gold. They really are. You're broke down in the middle of a field and you want a part, and waiting 2 or 3 days to come off the internet is very frustrating. So yeah, so how much he'll charge me, I'm not sure, but hey ho, it is what it is, and he does a job. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to just put that somewhere clean, and what we're going to do, we've cleaned all the yoke up. I'm going to put a bit of copper grease in these two. Yeah, a bit of copper grease. If I can, everything gets copper grease. Don't put it in the bearings, obviously, but anything that's a fit, like threads or anything like that, copper grease is mega. So right, what we're going to do, we're going to shove that just very, very slightly into there so it doesn't drop out. I mean very lightly. Now it's not going to drop out. And then we're going to marry this up. So that is going to go into there. Right, wow. Well, I'm hoping it is. I've never had one do that before. Well, that's something that doesn't normally happen. I should have tried it, I didn't, and that does not go in there. So what I'm going to do is just have to file a little bit off this flat edge just to get it to go in. Oh, Tell you, I've never done that and go in yet. Right, okay, so then we're going to slide it across, as we said before, into there. So therefore, when we press that in, we're not going to knock the needle bearings out, okay? Now, the grease nipple now is facing backwards, which is not what we want. So see if I can get it back out again. It won't, so I'm not bothered. It's going to have to face backwards. I can still get at it backwards, but it's going to have to be like that. So I'm not going to mess around with it too much. Right, so keeping the pressure pressing back into this cup. We're just going to press it into there. Right, wow. Okay, we'll push it in a little bit more with the socket. My vice sticking for some reason. So always keeping the pressure this way into the bearing. That'll do for now. So keeping the pressure this way all the time. Okay? Get the last one. That's going to go into there, and you can feel it just sets into the edge. Now we're going to transfer it across from this to that side, and this side needle bearings will be held in. There we go. So we've got to press it in now. I'm just going to have a quick look. My vice doesn't seem to want to move. They're great little visor seats because they push straight, but this one's, to be honest with you, I mean, I've used it tons and tons, but it's never big enough. I just could do the next size up. I've got two big ones out there, massive one which pushes the same, which I took the UJ apart on. It's outside at the moment, but I don't really fancy filming outside because it's raining. Right. Bit more. If you go too far with them and it makes the bearing tight, don't worry about it, because you just give them a smack with the hammer and it'll come good again. slipping. You know, this has got to be the worst one I've ever done for being cantankerous. Just check, make sure there's not a round edge on it. With a copper grease. So when I took these out, they all smashed to pieces. They've been in there that long. It's gone in. A piece out of my glove. I don't normally wear gloves. I'm not happy the way that one's seated, to be fair. That's better. Right, it's just a bit tight, that one. As you can see, it's fine. Yeah. Now, if they're tight, just give them a clout. Just on the jaws here somewhere to bang, just to vibrate them apart. But that's perfect. That's how you want to see them. If you look at the circlip, the distance between the gap, that one's slightly less. That one, and that one's slightly less as well. So we'll just tap them round just to make sure they seat alright. I've just seen that one move. All this is it's sharp. It's sharp. I cut it off with a mill, and I do slithers with it and all sorts of packing with it. But it's got a beveled end on it, look, and it just seats around the O-ring, around the clip really well. We don't want these flying out, because if they should fly out, they could do, your PTO would make a right mess. So if you can imagine this flying around and one of them cups come out and all this falls apart and it's doing 540 revs a minute, it's going to look a bit of a mess. That one's well in. That one's well in. I don't normally wear these gloves. I don't know why I really have done today. So I like the feel of things, and with gloves on you sort of lose that a bit. And you rip them and you end up with a dirty finger anyway. Yeah, you can see that one's gone in. Lovely jubbly. And so they are sealed, so they should last forever. We'll put a new grease nipple in and be posh. Bit of copper grease on it. Not doing any harm. Just on the threads. No, don't get it inside it, but just put a bit of copper grease on the threads. I'll just get 11mm or something. They're usually 11mm or 7/16. And what we want, really, we want it aiming out this corner here. So when we put the grease gun on, we can get it on quite easy. You see that? Hey, it's Beyonce! Hello, Beyonce! Hi. Can you move the car? Yeah, I'll come and move the car now. Okay, sweetie, bye bye. Right, we'll stick a bit of grease in it and we're done. Another thing I'll promote while I'm here is these grease nipple ends. My son uses them on the farm. I've got an electric grease gun over there, but rarely gets used. But these are great. They clip on the grease nipple and they can't help but fire it in. And he got me onto them a couple of years ago, and I've only got one on this grease gun to be fair with you, and that's probably why I don't use electric grease gun very often. I need to buy some more. They are mega. This grease gun, by the way, I bought it when I was 16. I bought a brand new tractor and I bought this grease gun. So what we're going to do is just going to poke some grease in it. Remember, you've got all the lines to fill up until we hear that one noise, and that's grease squirting out one of the seals. So we'll give it one more extra after that and we're done, or half of one. I'll show you. You can just see the grease just squirting out there, look. That's good enough. You don't have to ram it anymore in there. All them cups are now full and we're done. I mean, that's made it a little bit tighter, and you'll get over a day out of that, probably 3 or 4 days out of that grease. Okay, and then just give it another squirt now and again. Right, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit different to machining, but in my world I do a bit of everything. I've got a diesel pump to do on a tractor. I was hoping to do it this afternoon, but it's raining now, so that's not looking good because it's outside. I was going to film that for you as well. Right, till next time.